In this day and age, the culture behind canceling a creator has slowly started to peter out, with many cases nowadays failing even if said creator is actually some weirdo. However, back in 2022, the scene was a lot different. If someone made so much as one accusation against a creator, even if they presented zero evidence, that person could lose everything they've spent years working to build, and today, we're taking a look at one of those instances. Taiga has remained banned on YouTube and his Twitter suspended. He's still facing harassment for allegations made 2 years ago, and has essentially had his current life ruined by them. So please, if you can, go show Taiga some support through his Twitch streams. He's mostly singing, playing video games, doing karaoke, and vibing with chat. So please go show some love.
Recently, Khyo made a video that is very favourable towards Bungo Taiga, going as far as encouraging his fanbase to show Taiga some love. Upon watching the video, as both an occasional watcher of Khyo's content and a pro shipper with a keen eye for detail, I noticed how incomplete his retelling of Taiga's story is, so I went onto Twitter and invited Khyo to talk about it through a viral post that reached 1 like. Since that was obviously not going to work, I'm now making this video and extending the same invitation again. Your stream, my stream, no stream at all, whatever arena you find comfortable, I will be there. Alternatively, watch this video, watch my other video, and please tell me you are aware of all the things I bring up and are able to address them properly. Your audience deserves that, at the very least. Zero evidence. That's what Khyo said there is. Zero evidence against Taiga. Not that there is little, which, strictly speaking, wouldn't be true. Not that the evidence that exists can be debunked, which he also hasn't done, but that there is zero. The issue I have, fundamentally, is that Khyo made at least 4 videos on this topic so far, and he hasn't addressed any but the most obvious concerns regarding the allegations against Taiga to a satisfying degree in a single one of them. Maybe there's a stream or something that I missed, in which case feel free to throw it my way, I'll watch it in full, very possibly live on stream. That being said, I'll be honest, this isn't a Khyo takedown piece, so calm down. He will be fine. But after I spent about a solid 5 days looking into the various controversies of Bungo Taiga in order to make a 46-minute video that was seen by less than 1,500 people, at no financial benefit to myself as of right now, I am somewhat annoyed that content creators with a far more established fan bases, with far more to lose, feel so comfortable sending their fans over to show support to somebody they didn't bother to vet. And not in some impulsive or hastened manner that could be excused, but in a situation that has been dragged on for 2 years that they had ample time and a responsibility to prep on, which I can only assume Khyo did based on his bold claim of zero evidence. So that's what I'll be examining today. Right off the bat, let's get a few things clear. I don't believe that someone being a lolicon or a shotacon by default makes you a nonce. You're welcome to disagree, but for the purposes of this video, it doesn't matter at all. It's easy to discredit allegations against Taiga by pretending like they're all just evil antis trying to take down an innocent twink, but they're not. And if you've come here as a fan of Khyo, then you'd know that they're not if Khyo did his due diligence at least once. But he didn't. So I'm wondering, does he actually care about any of this? In his recently released 14-minute video, Khyo gives a broad TLDR about the cancellation of Bungo Taiga. Let me go through a few things I've never seen Khyo address properly, and I'd think that if he feels comfortable enough to use his own face and his own platform to exonerate Taiga, he should feel comfortable enough to debunk all I'm about to say. I made a much longer 46-minute video addressing Taiga's cancellation and the exoneration in detail, and so rather than doing the same thing again, I will use broad strokes, the important bits if you will, and if you want specifics, I invite you to listen to my longer form content that will be linked in the description down below. I'll also try to address Khyo's points chronologically for ease of analysis whenever possible, but no promises since, like I already stated, Khyo did very little due diligence when reporting on this topic. So, without any further ado, let us actually jump into it. As always, things are going to be timestamped, so feel free to jump around if you so desire. Initially in his video, Khyo starts off by criticizing the original takedown piece, and for what it's worth, the original takedown piece is spite-driven and dogshit. The attempt at characterizing Taiga as a kiddie diddler because of his taste for Shotacon is not something I personally agree with. The issue here, unfortunately, is that the exoneration that was made in favour of Taiga is equally as dogshit. While Khyo mentions the other side of the coin in the shape of the allegations of racism and general vitriol that we not only have a confirmation for in the shape of Taiga admitting that he was part of a pretty bigoted Discord group, but also statements from not the 2 ex-mods that everyone discredits, but 5 of them total, out of whom 3 are never mentioned in the exoneration, who all have released written statements detailing how unpleasant and abusive Taiga gets behind the scenes. No mention of this at all in the 14-minute video that Khyo made. I understand that Khyo, just like I'm myself trying here, used broad strokes, but it does strike me as somewhat weird that because of the allegations of being a child predator being unfounded, Taiga gets an absolute free pass on everything else. Following this, Khyo does something absolutely insane and massively misreads, misreports and mischaracterizes an exchange where Taiga requested the nudes of an underage person. Khyo, just like Taiga's exonerator from the dog that people cite to defend Taiga, implies that Taiga asked for somebody's nudes, was informed that somebody is a 17-year-old minor, and then says, quote, "Oh, who cares," with the idea being that Taiga knew the age at that point and was no longer interested. It's absolutely wild to me that you can see these DMs in front of yourselves and still misread the living fuck out of them. So, we will go over these DMs together and I will give you my side of things.
Also shown another set of DMs between Taiga and someone that had to remove 20 pages of nude images from a Discord server. Taiga requests that they're sent to him, asks how old the individual is informed of their age being 17, and says, quote, "Oh, who cares?" This screenshot so far being the only damning one. However, it's not even the one most people even try to spread as Taiga being a pedophile. Many people, such as another VTuber named Marina, would take.
So, in this exchange, Taiga is informed that the individual he is talking to, indicatively some friend who mods for a different server, had to delete 20 pages of nudes of a poster who was under 18, as in a minor. The word used here are nudes, not lewds, like Taiga later lies about in his twit-longer apology. Knowing that this person is a minor, Taiga requests to see these nudes. The person Taiga speaks to responds with "Tai, that's bad," to which Taiga responds with "You saw him too, you better share." Right? At this point, Taiga is very aware of the fact that these nudes belong to somebody who is underage. Right? He already knows at this point there is ample evidence for this within the exchange. Then Taiga asks, "Wait, how young?" And upon finding out that the person is 17, that is when he loses interest and says, "Oh, who cares?" So riddle me this, chat. If a person is asking for a nudes, right, nudes, upon finding out that they depict a minor and only loses interest after finding out that the minor in question is 17, what does that indicate? What does it indicate when they were interested prior to learning the age but already knew it's a minor? It indicates that Taiga was hoping the individual in these images was younger than that. He lost interest after finding out the person is too old for his tastes, and he wasn't asking for nudes and disengaged when he found out they belonged to a minor. He was asking for these nudes because they belonged to a minor. You can see this in the exchange on screen right now. He is immediately informed the person is a minor, as in underage, and still pursues the topic. So, Khyo, after mischaracterizing the shit out of this exchange, describes it as the most damning one, which it is, but then he downplays that by saying that it's not the one that most people spread to call Taiga a nonce, and then he brings up Marina. I understand that, Khyo. We all do. We all understand that. We've been following the drama. There are a lot of dumb people out there, including Nux, and a lot of dumb people are responsible for harassing Taiga. But what is your opinion on the exchange that you've just showed us? The one that I've just read? What is your statement about this screenshot? You're sending your own audience over to support Taiga, so I'm assuming you've read it, you've understood it, and you're fine with it? I'm guessing I'm coming across pretty entitled when I say this, but I think we're all entitled to a fucking explanation, Chief, because the way you've showed this screenshot and how you've characterized it is fundamentally inaccurate.
Some screenshots of Taiga pretending to be 14 years old on Twitter to get more followers from predators, claims of Taiga being racist and transphobic.
I'm sorry, is that all we get on that note? No expanded opinion on Taiga pretending to be 14 to attract predators and then bragging about that being an effective growth strategy? You aren't going to comment about how he did this while allowing minors in his own community? How he had a rule disallowing people from sharing their age, and when some people in there spoke about lowering the age of consent, his comment to them was, "Do not out yourselves, LMAO." Am I not gonna hear Khyo's opinion on this? No words about Taiga being a Minecraft Let's Play YouTuber prior to his re-debut, who had a ton of minors in his audience and yet knowingly pretended to be 14 on the internet and then bragged about this being his growth strategy? Utilizing predators? Khyo mentions later how Taiga had a minor in his server that he was aware of and allowed in there, but then doesn't at all mention how this creates precedents for mods to be lax, not only regarding known minors, like this one, but to not even really be on a hunt for unknown ones. I'm sorry, am I insane? Is there a video out there of Khyo addressing all of these points and I just somehow missed it? This is a 95,000 subscribers YouTuber who is not an idiot. I've watched other content of his. I know he's not an idiot.
If anything even remotely risky was posted by someone we believe to be a minor, the messages would be removed. He, she, they should have been kicked/reported and banned. Taiga does address the server did have one minor in it. That minor was given a role that blocked them from seeing any of the NSFW content from the server, and goes on to point out where the person who has made the post about minors in the Discord stated, quote, "Due to the fact there are no direct screenshots of Taiga, this may need to be taken with a grain of salt."
Which is great. But what about the minors that he allowed in there who weren't sharing their nudes because he didn't have an 18+ policy at the time? What about those minors, Khyo? Do we not care about any of those because they weren't sharing nudes on there? Like, what an absolutely insane situation to just not delve into any details about. Following that, Khyo brings us to Taiga's Twitlonger, where Taiga addresses certain allegations, and I'm glad that he did because there are parts where Taiga is 100% correct. But then the main focus jumps to the part where Taiga stumbles around trying to explain the asking for nudes of an underage person screenshot we saw earlier, and Taiga lies through his fucking teeth. What's Khyo's analysis about this?
And this also addresses a screenshot regarding the 17-year-old and states, quote, "The screenshot of me asking to be shown lewds, not nudes like people love to claim, of someone suspected to be under 18 was merely a crude joke. However, it was absolutely disgusting to say."
Complete blind trust in Taiga's words and absolute zero critical analysis. Literally nothing. I'll explain in the conclusion of this video why this is absolutely wild to me and broadly problematic for the entire community, so if you start getting bored, make sure you at least listen to that. But I will, in the meantime, once again implore you to look at the screenshot I'm showing you right now, where the word nudes is used explicitly. When Taiga says that those weren't nudes, they were just lewds, he is lying to you. And he knows he's doing it too. I would expect him to lie. He's trying to save his skin. What I'm wondering about is why the fuck are so many other people bought into the lie? Why are you doing this to yourselves? Khyo then says something truly crucial.
Despite Taiga responding to these allegations, many refused to believe him. They continued to spread the allegations and painted Taiga as a creep.
Could people refuse to believe Taiga on some of these points because there is evidence pointing out the Taiga lying through his teeth again, that people like yourself, Khyo, are either too ideologically possessed or lazy to actually give critical overview to? You sent your community to show him some love, man, and you didn't address a single reason why people might still be skeptical of him, even if they don't consider him a nonce. In the next part of his video, Khyo criticizes Nux, which is more than fair. Nux's fuck-ups on this are monumental, and his limp dick lack of follow-through means that he's fair game to be criticised regardless of how you actually feel about Taiga, because he is the only man in this arc of a story so incompetent that he calls someone a nonce with no evidence, does no research and listens to his friends and only basically follows vibes, then finds out that he got burned, says he will apologise, indicatively because the vibes are against him and he is again incapable of any research, doesn't apologise properly at all, at that point still doesn't do any research, then again listens to his friends and vibe checks his way through this controversy, and then lets Taiga somehow in all of this come out victorious out of a battle that Nux had in the bag the entire time. Nux's incompetence is so staggering you could write books about it on this topic specifically. It is genuinely mind-boggling. And then finally, Khyo brings up the exonerating document I spoke about earlier, but then absolutely uncritically soaks in every single word of it without a care in the world.
All of this has led to someone else taking matters into their own hands and deep diving into this rabbit hole to clear out the situation. In December of 2022, a Google document from Twitter user BurnBurn8 was uploaded to Twitter. That Google document being titled The Exoneration of Bungo Taiga, with the user saying, quote, "In a strange twist, I am today doing an unexpose. Originally planned to be anonymous, but that decision has changed, and I won't edit the document as it is finalized." This document was made with one goal in mind, to quote-unquote correct the record on a VTuber known as Bungo Taiga. Burn went into this explaining the allegations at hand that Taiga was being accused of being a pedo, groomer, and child abuser.
You'd think that as somebody with 95,000 subscribers who just advised his community to go and show Taiga some love, Khyo is aware of everything the doc entails and its accuracy regarding the broader situation. So how about mentioning that the doc doesn't just include allegations from 2 ex-mods, at least as far as the abuse goes, but rather 5 of them? Nothing? How about including that Taiga admits he knew about one of his mods sexually assaulting a woman, but seemingly kept it to himself until they started beefing? Also nothing. How about every single omission of fact or detailed in the exoneration exclusively favouring Taiga? How about you mention how we can't interrogate BurnBurn8 about his credentials or anything he mentioned in the document that is factually inaccurate because he disappeared off of the face of the internet over a year ago? How about you mention that BurnBurn8 uses Taiga as a primary source for a part of the document and cites his allegations against Gilk without providing appropriate evidence? How about you mention the exoneration lies about Taiga not using the self-label of Shotacon? Every single thing I just mentioned, and so much more, you can find in the longer video I made on the topic that will again be listed in the description below. But you won't find it addressed properly in any of Khyo's videos on the topic. Why? At the very least, before you show Taiga any love, please for the love of God be aware of who he is. Make up your own informed opinion with all the information in front of you. I will never understand why someone like Khyo would advise you to show Taiga some love and then proceed to not give you the appropriate context to do so, or at the very least vet him himself before doing so. This situation is genuinely bizarre. I do not understand for the love of me why someone who is an established content creator with a platform like Khyo's would put his entire reputation on the line to throw a lifeline to somebody they did not bother to do the appropriate research about. And he tells me and others in his audience, such as yourself possibly, to show Taiga some love. Some love for what exactly? If I feel comfortable enough defending somebody to use my name to whitewash theirs, I feel comfortable taking the strongest valid argument against them and explaining why it's insufficient. Why is this never done by the defenders of Taiga? You sit there and lambast Nux, rightfully so by the way, for spouting harmful opinions all on the basis of hearsay, and then you turn around and do the exact same thing because this time the hearsay comes from somebody who claims to have credentials you couldn't give fewer fucks to actually check. You guys are telling me that Khyo feels comfortable sending his audience over to show Taiga some love while being fully aware of everything I mentioned in this video and in my longer one? Are you guys comfortable with this? I personally don't think Khyo gives a flying fuck about any of this, and I hope that's the case, because the alternative to that is grim as fuck. If this backfires, it won't backfire on Taiga. Well, I mean, it might, but it will also backfire on Khyo. It will backfire on all pro shippers out there who have mistakenly sided with Taiga on Khyo's behest when unhinged antis start digging and find out that Taiga isn't just swarmed by false allegations, but is instead a hugely problematic figure, all in his own right. And this brings me to my next point, albeit a minor one, fitting to end the video on. Currently, Taiga isn't really cancelled. He streams and does fine on Twitch. He's banned on YouTube, sure, but his Twitch is okay, he still has a platform. If this discourse continues, if it picks up steam, and a big content creator who actually does their due diligence covers this topic in detail and arrives at anything near to the same conclusions that I did, which is not that Taiga is a pedo, but that he can be reasonably seen as, especially by people from outside the bubble we exist in, such as Twitch ambassadors for example, a threat to children and a brand risk, then Twitch will ban him too. Twitch is not a platform that's particularly friendly to VTubers. Twitch is known for banning for off-platform behaviour, and you're all playing a risky game. I made one video about Taiga when he was trending recently and I called it a day. Now I made another. And I will make one more if big content creators, at least relative to my own size of course, continue to show Taiga's support without addressing a single of the concerns I've raised in this video. It's fine to support Taiga, but I need you to show that you actually support him whilst understanding everything that entails. This drama has been going on for like 2 years now, and it will continue until at least one of you guys grows balls needed to defend Taiga with the full context of his actions attached. At the end of the day, none of this affects me, but somebody will eventually win this tug of war, and I suspect it is not going to be Taiga. That will be it for today's video. Sorry about the recent upload drought, but work has been rather busy, busy as hell actually, and growing my platform while growing my career has proven to be quite a bit of a challenge. If you like this video, I warmly invite you to leave a comment down below, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. If you're interested in civil discussion, then by all means, comments down below are more than open to you. And if you're interested in uncivil discussion, then feel welcome also. I do enjoy a bit of blood sport. In the meantime, thank you all for watching, thanks to my Golden Only fans for their support, and I'll talk to you again rather soon. Tara.